Hello, everybody. How you doing tonight? I'm doing good. I wasn't gonna do a video, but I thought, well, I'll come on and talk to you guys because there's a couple things that really, really upset me since yesterday, and I really believe that it's time that I need to address this because I think it's serious and I think it's important enough. But anyways, before I do, I want to say I hope you're doing good. I hope you're getting ready for your Christmas with your family. Listen, it's crazy. Every time Christmas comes, it seems like it just goes so fast, doesn't it? The whole month. And it just rushes into everything. And I have a million presents for my kids. Otherwise, I'd be taking you out in the kitchen right now. But my whole entire kitchen, the table, is full of Christmas presents. And it was so much work, you guys. I have 11 people in my family. And I know people have a lot more children, a lot more bigger families than that. But it was a workout, like a full-time job. But you know what? The Lord reminded me that I'm so grateful to have all these people in my life, all these family members, that I have a big family. You know, I was just thinking about that. I actually have a big family, and I'm so grateful to them. I'm so grateful to God that I do have a large family that I can spend time with and love them and bless them. And you know, here's my philosophy on Christmas giving and Christmas presents is I am growing older. Yes, there's a lot of things that I could spend money on, but I believe that if we can not bless our loved ones, you know, then what good is that? What good is all that? You know? I truly believe that we should be blessing our children, our own, family. And I'm just grateful, you guys, that I have a family. And I pray for those that are lonely and sad this time of year. But I wanted to say something about Miss Christine. Miss Christine, she has her own channel. It's called Miss Christine 555 or something like that. She has been a supporter of the Wells family, and she's over at Miss Daisy's channel a lot. But she's a very nice person, and just because we disagree on things, I think that we're supposed to love each other through Christ. You know, we may have our differences. Everybody's going to not think the same. So she's still a sister in the Lord, and I'm saying my prayers for her, okay? And I hope every one of you will lift her up in prayer, that God would heal her and keep her around for her children and her family. She's a very nice lady, and so I pray that you'll pray for her also. I was pretty sad to see Cam and Allie. The only thing I'm really going to say about this is I did appreciate that White Boy Lockdown brought up the fact that they have been taking advantage of their channel, saying, and using this platform to solicit funds from other people and making them feel bad, and even bullying them and harassing them. And that's what was happening to this lady and this white boy radio guy, whatever his name is. I don't know, his name is Shane or Sean or something. I don't know. But anyways, I'm glad that he did, and that this lady reached out to him. Because here's the thing. It brings up the point that too many people have been making money off of Summer Wells' case. And they've been taking advantage of people on YouTube to pay their bills. Now, there's a lot of creators who already have made money and begged for money for their electric bill. They'll put their hospital bill out there. They'll show you the price of this and say, I don't know how we're going to do it, but, it's a subliminal message, okay? But you got to really be careful. Please spend your money wisely. Look at what happens to people. They get hurt. Well, they gave with their heart. They wanted to give that money, so it's their own fault. And this should be a lesson to a lot of people. Don't be sending your hard-earned money just because you feel sorry for people, okay? Especially not on YouTube. And it's really easy to have your heartstrings pulled and to feel sorry for people when they're crying. But I'll tell you what, that's a lot of money, especially that this woman gave, and I feel bad for her. But at the same time, she should have never done that, even if she felt sorry for him, because how are you going to learn if you don't take responsibility for your own actions, for giving strangers money that you barely know, and you know that they've had some problems? I've known that Cam and Allie were doing drugs for quite a long time, for a couple years now. And you know what? I'm not going to cut them down or be mean to them or anything. It's really sad. And I hope that Cam and Allie live through this. And this is my fear. It's so hard. Drug addiction. And the only reason I'm not a drug addict is because I know dang well if I ever tried even one of those kind of drugs, I'm serious. I would probably, if I tried heroin or one of them drugs, I would probably absolutely love it. And I'd be addicted from day one, and I'd be laying in some alley, begging for money, scrounging my way. Addiction is no fun, but I'm telling you that I would be one of those people if not for the grace of God and having the wisdom to know that I have a personality that is addictive. And if I dabble in one little thing, I'm going to be an addict. Seriously, I just know this about my personality. Good thing I don't like alcohol, booze, because there's so many great flavors. There's so many mixed drinks now. And I'm going to tell you what. If I didn't have stomach problems and I didn't get a bellyache and diarrhea after drinking alcohol, I sure in the heck, I would be a honky-tonkin' drunkard woman. I'd be a wino, laying out somewhere. So, for the grace of God, there go I. And that just means if it wasn't for the grace of God and God's love for me and keeping me and giving me wisdom, I'd be doing the same dang thing, so I cannot judge others. I've made a lot of stupid mistakes in my life, and I'm not going to even go into it, but, I've done dumb things in my life. I've been in bad relationships because I was naive. I didn't have a lot of wisdom in my life, and I made decisions by the seat of my pants. Whatever felt good, I did. I got in stupid relationships, people that treated me very badly and abused me. But you know what? I'm glad that I learned from those things, and that's what life's all about. It's about learning life's lessons. And I'm sorry that Cam and Allie got into the crutches of addiction, but you know what? They can get out of addiction too if they really want to. Cam and Allie, if you really want to save your lives and your kids, I really wish you would decide that you want to. And I really wish that you would just get yourself in church and get yourself to sponsors and in-house rehab and get clean, because your life matters. You might not think your life matters, and it doesn't help with a bunch of bullies on YouTube that want to trash you or, get upset at you and expose all your terrible problems right now, which is wrong. It's very exploitive of some people to do this. But Cam, you wanted to come on and defend yourself, and I don't blame you, but all you did was give excuses. But I do pray and hope to God that Cam and Allie live through this, because I'm very scared for their life, because they don't look well. So I pray that you will get help, Cam and Allie, and I am praying for you that you find your way. Because, life's important and your children are important. And you can live a completely different life if you want to. Anybody and everybody can. And I'll say this like Prayer Garden says, listen, I'll tell you this. If you want to change your life, you can change your life. There's no doubt about it. You can have a completely different life if you really want one. But you have to make that decision to want a different life. So, and a lot of people, you need to realize, a lot of people who are in addiction, they don't want to be free from it. A lot of people, they get stress relief when they smoke. A lot of people get a feeling of happiness and calmness when they eat. It's satisfying to them, so they're addicted to food. A lot of people are caught in the crutches of addiction, so we don't need to judge them. But anyways, you guys, I don't want to get too far into this in a conversation about all this stuff. But Cam and Allie need your prayers. They don't need your gossip. They don't need you to go out and talk about them and mock them or make videos about them. Just, say your prayers for Cam and Allie, okay? It's a very bad Christmas for them, a very bad year. And it's very sad, okay? And like I said, I could be one of them people in a minute. No lie. So, I gotta show you this. I think it's important.
How long did you talk with them for?
Okay.
For a month.
Under fair use. Jody Sue played a video. I have no idea from when this video was. It sounds like she was on a panel. Prayer Garden was on a panel. Excuse me, with Ziggy. And I don't know who else here. But in this video, Jody Sue talks about how Prayer Garden's a hypocrite, because Prayer Garden was saying things about Jody Sue. So I guess this is like Jody Sue's way of confronting that. My point is so Jody Sue talks about how, yes, Prayer Garden, I'm sorry, Prayer Garden, if you don't like this, but I believe this is the absolute truth. And I have nothing against Prayer Garden, okay? So let me make that clear right off. Don't take this rumor back to Prayer Garden and say I'm talking bad about her. I want to know something about her, and I want to confront something about her, that's all. Okay? And this case is about Summer Wells. Remember, it's not about anybody else. If you're going to talk about Summer Wells, then it should be about what's going on in this case. And not all the other drama bullcrap. But anyways, Jody Sue talks about Prayer Garden being in love with Don and, talking to him all the time, which she was. And she always defended Don. And she sits in this video and she Prayer Garden cuts down Candace and says how Candace is so mean and that Don can't talk to anybody because Candace is right there yelling in the background. Excuse me. Prayer Garden, let me ask you a question, PG. If some strange woman was calling your husband, messaging your husband nonstop, wanting to talk to him, video chatting with him, wouldn't you be just a little bit jealous, Prayer Garden? Wouldn't you be yelling and saying nasty stuff like if it was turned around? So what are you talking about Candace being meaner? She was meaner than Don. She was, nasty. Well, heck yes, she's been nasty. I never seen such a circus of all these women chasing after Don Wells. And Prayer Garden was chasing after Don Wells. And she did like Don Wells. And she's only recently come around. And she's still, if you listen to her, she still just suspects Candace. And she doesn't want to believe that Don Wells did anything. And you know what? She even was not believing the SA for the longest time. She was making remarks and comments about Mary and Jeannie and that, she didn't feel bad for them at all. And I was upset about that. Now, I know a lot of people follow Prayer Garden, and I like to watch her too. But listen, this is serious tonight, and I want you to pay attention to what Prayer Garden says on here, what Jody Sue is talking about, confessions. Also, just before this comes on, Jody Sue talks about Prayer Garden always putting herself on that hill. She claims that she's seen Jody Sue and Candace do this and do that. She claims that she's seen this or that. What are you doing, Prayer Garden? Were you up on the hill? Have you been up there to see Don and Candace? What are you doing, okay? It's just really strange, but so she talks about this, Jody Sue does. But PG says something here that bothers me tremendously, and I think it should bother all of you. Every creator and every person that has listened and followed Summer Wells' case, I think this should concern you.
Matter of fact, your letters with the
Hold on. Just back it up a little. Listen.
Guys, I don't know. Putting out about Summer, I wrote those things.
I'm not getting it far enough. Okay, listen.
PG was going to move in and get a wedding ring if she could get rid of Candace and if they could all collect them.
So, under fair use, Jody Sue, using a clip of your video, just a small portion, to bring my point across. And I did agree with you on here, but I have questions for Jody Sue too. But
trying to get him to focus on Summer.
Man, how does it go that fast?
6, 12, 6, 6.
Okay.
6, devil in disguise, I don't know.
Putting out about Summer, I wrote those statements for him, trying to get him to focus on Summer, to start truthfully. So, no.
I'm playing it one more time to make sure you catch it.
Trying to get him to focus on Summer, to start
in disguise, I don't know.
Listen.
Out about Summer, I wrote those statements for him, trying to get him to focus on Summer, to start truthfully.
So, no, she wasn't in the video with the little girl, hon. She don't live around there. So when you started talking to Don, how long did you talk with him for?
For months. Matter of fact, the letters with the statements that he was putting out, about Summer. I wrote those statements for him, trying to get him to focus on Summer, to start talking about Summer.
Wow.
Now, you know that doesn't make lick sense.
Okay. That's all I wanted you to hear. Now I have a big question for Prayer Garden. You mean to tell me that all this time you just admitted it on YouTube? You admitted it with your own words, Prayer Garden, that you wrote those letters for Don. That Don did not write those letters, you wrote them. And you even said, Prayer Garden, that you gave him advice when I believe it was when he did his polygraph, and you gave him advice on what to say and what to do when he went on the behavioral panel in Dr. Phil. Prayer Garden, you have put yourself as being an accomplice, like you have put yourself in Summer Wells' case, and you are probably going to have to testify in court, and you're probably you could even get in trouble for some of this. What are you doing, PG? Why in the world would you write those letters that we sat there and listened to and wondered, and it was your dang letters? And you put that out, PG. And you have been influencing Don and telling him what to say and what to do. You know, it's just so fake. I'm sorry. But you can act like you are not suspicious of Don and Candace. I mean, you can act like you are suspicious of them, but you still believe somehow in Don Wells. I don't care. I like PG. I usually enjoy some of her content, not all of it. When she's being swear garden, and she's swearing everything up and down on, and then saying amen, praise the Lord. I don't enjoy that. I don't watch her all the time, but I don't have anything against her. But this really, really bothers me. It bothers me that PG has been influencing Don Wells like that and putting out stuff for this case. How weird. This is just very concerning to me, PG, and I want to know why you would do such a thing. It's like you're messing up investigation with this crap. And I also have questions for Jody Sue. Jody Sue, maybe you did hear a scream. We don't know. You're saying that PG, that she didn't know, or she was just making up bullcrap about a smell at Don's workplace, that some guy came and said it smelled like death there. And it very well could have, you guys. He could have had Summer somewhere there on that premises as a temporary holding place. So I think I do take interest in that, because Prayer Garden seems to be very adamant about that situation, that she was with Don supposedly on video chat while he was at work, and some guy said it smelled like death in there and he was getting sick and he had to leave. I mean, I don't know if it's true, if she's just saying this, but why would she say it? I don't understand. But maybe Don did have Summer somewhere on them premises. But what I want to know, Jody Sue, is why should we believe you about the scream then, if you can't believe PG about that? I'm not saying I'm sorry, I gotta get a drink. I'm not saying that you didn't hear the scream. Maybe you did. But it seems kind of strange to me, Jody Sue, that you're sitting there saying, you're so alert, right? You're on high alert that day because of all the stuff that was going on with all these people that were around there. And all this stuff that was happening, that you were going out and checking, and you were doing this, and you were high alert, so you heard the scream, and you see this vehicle zip up the driveway, a flash, and blah, blah, blah. Well, since you can hear so good, Jody Sue, and you know what's going on, why, and you were on such high alert, Jody Sue, why didn't you see what happened to Summer Wells? I mean, why didn't you know what was going on up there? So I just find that very strange that you're on hyper alert for everything else, but you weren't on hyper alert for that. And now, Candace, when Evil entered the channel, put out a video tonight, and it actually has Candace stating, Jody Sue, that you were not wet whatsoever when they seen you, and that you weren't searching the creek like you said you were, and you weren't doing all this stuff. And so what is the story, Jody Sue? I mean, how can you be tired from supposedly your treatment, and you were exhausted? I remember you saying that in one of your talks about the scream. You said you were tired that day. So, how did you get up and just run around and do this whole search and blah, blah, blah? And so I don't really get where you're coming from. You're really mixing up your stories, Jody Sue. I'm sorry. I'm drinking my pop. You'll never guess what I'm addicted to. Mellow yellow. I love it, and I drink it by the 2 liter. It's terrible, I know it. But it keeps me going, you guys. And you know what? I had to quit Mountain Dew because Mountain Dew has brominated vegetable oil in it. And it was messing my stomach up so bad I actually had a terrible time. I don't even want to go into that, but I had a heavy addiction to Mountain Dew for years. And so I had to give it up, and I switched it for Mellow Yellow because it's the closest thing that kind of tastes like Mountain Dew, but I like it better. I do not like the taste of Mountain Dew now. It's crazy. I was such an addict with that. But anyways, you guys, back to my point. So Candace says you weren't even wet, Jody Sue, and you didn't search like you said, and blah, 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 okay? That was a good video. That when Evil entered, the thing is that it goes through you, Jody Sue, saying what you said, that you had to cover up your tracks and keep the scent down, Jody Sue. Also, why, Jody Sue, here's a question for you. If you really want to clear up stuff in the Summer Wells case, if you really want to come clean and you really want everybody to believe you and not be upset at you, Jody Sue, then why don't you explain some things and be clear about them instead of dancing around the subject or not saying nothing at all, but carrying on? Why don't you tell us why Candace had 15 messages that she deleted from between her and Andy, and why one of them said it's done? Do you have an answer for this, Jody Sue? Because we want to know. And really, don't you think it's strange, Jody Sue, that Andy was crying to you all night and wanting to be held? This was your words. This is what you said. And you were saying that Andy was given drugs, but that Candace was even buying drugs from Andy to sedate the little girls to do bad things. Jody Sue, these are your words, so if you didn't say them, if you didn't mean them.
Long, hot.
If you didn't mean them, Jody Sue, why would you say that? You put that out there, and it sounds to me like you're putting in the information that everybody needed to know, that there was trafficking going on in that house with the Wells. Because if they're sedating the little kids to let somebody do bad things to them, Jody Sue, then what else is going on? You know more than this. If you're actually saying that, then you know more than what you're talking about. Why would you accuse your ex of something so serious on YouTube, knowing that the TBI and different people, or they're going to pass this information along? Why would you put your husband or your boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, as being a suspect to Summer Wells' case? You said that Andy seen Summer dead and that he was freaking out your daughter and saying certain things to your guys' daughter. So what's going on here, Jody Sue? Other people said they seen you. Seen your man, Andy, on camera. Seen him home that day earlier. And then, when all this stuff came out about Andy, like last year, you were crying your eyes out, defending him. So, if you want to clear that up, here's the question again. Why did Candace delete 15 messages between her and Andy, and he said it's done? What was going on there, if you know? You should try to make sense of that for us. And also, if that's really what happened, that Andy was selling to the Wells to sedate those little girls, the kids, why don't you? I hope you really explain that to TBI. And if nobody has turned that into TBI, I hope they do. Because you should have turned that into TBI right away. And you better have, Jody Sue. Because this is the stuff you're saying and you're putting out about this case. And you're involving yourself with some very bad stuff going on. So, also, there was something else about Andy I wanted to know. Well, if I think of it, I'll ask you, but I don't remember. But Jody Sue, you never answer anybody. Even if I say that I want to know these things, you're probably not going to answer because that's just the way you are. You think it's cool, I guess, to be elusive. You put elusive titles in your videos, and you try to act all mysterious, whatever, like you are holding stuff back in the Summer Wells case, and you're holding stuff back about your ex-old man, and you're holding stuff back about yourself. And maybe Don and Candace really do suspect you guys, because maybe by some chance in this world, by some miracle, Don and Candace didn't do this, then maybe you two are involved in this case with Summer of her disappearance. So what's going on, Jody Sue? You're very suspicious. In Prayer Garden, you're suspicious too. Do you live up there by Don and Candace? Have you been to their house? What are you doing writing notes and telling Don how to do things? I mean, that's ridiculous. You said Don took credit for the letters. Well, big deal. I wouldn't have took credit for them letters, that's for sure. Because I thought they sucked, Prayer Garden. I thought they were the worst letters I ever read. So, you suck at writing letters. I will say that, PG. So you shouldn't have been writing them for Don. And as far as I'm concerned, nobody should be involving themselves with criminals. Why White Boy Lockdown wants to involve himself with these criminals who could be murder suspects. Why PG would want to involve herself in somebody who could be a murder suspect of a little girl. We don't know that, but it sure sounds like it. And it sounds like TBI from the beginning has believed that Summer was already deceased. I believe that they feel like there was a homicide. They're looking for her body. And they're digging around. They're not looking for Summer. They're doing searches on the ground and digging in places. And that's what they've been doing. So, and people saying, oh, Don and Candace should get their kids back. You're not getting the boys back. Summer's still missing. You're still suspects in a case. Why would you ever get the boys back? You wouldn't. Summer hasn't been found and they have not cleared you because you could be responsible for her disappearance, Don and Candace. So I don't know what these people are thinking. And I wish everybody would just quit giving money to these channels and people. It's wonderful if you want to be like a member of a channel, you want to help them, you want to support them. I don't even know what that's like because I haven't been monetized. I don't even think I have enough subscribers to be monetized. But I don't care because I don't really want to be monetized, you guys, because that's another whole ball game. And you got to report this crap. And if you're not reporting this to the IRS, you're going to get in trouble. Cam and Allie, if you got donations like that, I'm telling you what, you're going to have to report these things one of these days. It always catches up to you, trust me, with interest. Believe me, the federal and state government, they will collect things with interest. So, who cares about money? But obviously some of these people have nothing else but YouTube and their subscribers to depend on because that's how they live, because they don't have jobs. I'm retired. So, I worked all my life and my husband's retired. So I don't know what other people do, but it seems like people depend on YouTube subscribers to provide for them, which is very, very sad. When I grew up many moons ago, right? And we were taught that you don't beg for money from other people. And you don't ask for money from strangers that you don't even know, let alone from family or friends. We were just taught that. So it's very weird for me to see anyone asking for money from anyone. And a lot of them, like I said, do it subconsciously. Like they'll say, oh, we're going to have this problem. We're going to have to add this to our house, or we're going to have this hospital bill, or we're going to have this, or we're going to have some kind of surgery. So we're going to need all this money, and I don't know how we're going to do it, but we'll make it somehow. That is called manipulation. I don't care who you are. That's manipulation. You don't need to tell people that. And nobody needs to know about your personal financial problems or, all your struggles, okay? If you gotta get help with this or that, nobody needs to know your business. But I cannot believe how many generous people are out here. They're out here just throwing their money around, and I wish you wouldn't. Don't feel so sorry for people all the time. You know, hey, I almost got caught up in it. There was a couple people I wanted to send money to because I thought, oh, I just feel so bad for them, you know. Thank God I didn't, because then I realized, oh, well, wow, they got a bad drug problem, or, oh, wow, they use people all the time like this. But, you know, nobody's got any room to say anything on YouTube. Most of these creators, a lot of them are making money off of Summer Wells' case. So, you know, nobody can really cut down another one. Prayer Garden cannot cut down other people. She makes money off her channel. And she's doing some kind of membership thing now. Members only. So those things cost money. And people that do, you know, are doing those kind of things are trying to make money, and that's fine. If that's what you gotta do. But you can't cut down other people and say, well, this one's making money or that one's making money off Summerwell's back if you're doing it. So, and it's just really sad how some of this crap in YouTube becomes, you know. But whatever. That's not my concern, and I could care less, really. I'm not trying to be ignorant. I could care less if Cam and Allie, I wish they wouldn't do drugs, but if they want to do drugs, that's their business. If they want to borrow money from people, that's their business. If so-and-so wants to do something, if you want to be a drug addict, if you want to be an alcoholic, whatever, I'm not here to judge you. But, you know, it's ridiculous that people gotta jump all over that bandwagon and that train and just run with that stuff and go, oh, this is terrible and blah, blah, blah. Or, oh, this was so traumatic for me to watch this. Oh, it was just terrible. How dare you? And, oh, you know, it's stupid. It's all just nonsense. I try not to get involved with it, really, but I gotta talk about it because I see it, and it drives me nuts. But, there's actually channels, did you guys know this? There's actually channels, like a whole panel of girls that are kind of like, it's like high school, right? And they're all on this panel together, kind of like bullies, and they tear apart creators, you know? I mean, they were tearing apart Ziggy. I heard them doing this, and I'm like... And they were right about some of the things. I like Ziggy, but they were right about some of them. Ziggy was talking about other people getting money. She's gotten money. They've all gotten money. So what? Whatever. I have not got any money. And I don't want any money, you guys. None. Zero. But some of these guys are getting presents, and I'm thinking to myself, my God, I should give my viewers my P.O. box so they can send me presents. Dang it. Everybody's getting all these kids. I'm just kidding, you guys. I absolutely, listen. I need nothing. I am so taken care of and loved and happy and contented. I have everything that I could possibly need. And I'm grateful to God for that. And so I need nothing. But I do need your love. And, excuse me, man. I need your love. And I need your kindness, just like any normal person would. And I appreciate all the people who put comments on my videos. I hope you're doing good, you know. I think about you guys. I wonder how you're doing for this Christmas holiday. I feel bad for Summer Wells. That she's not going to be able to have this Christmas once again. And she may not ever have one. But, she's with the one who Christmas is all about, and that is Jesus. So that's good news, She's with him, and that's important. And she's being loved, and she's being taken care of, and that's hard for some people to accept. That she's probably deceased, but you know what? It's been over 2 years. And there's no sign of life, you guys. And I'm very sad about it. What I'm really upset about is I don't want to hear what happened to her. I'm still waiting to hear something about the Michael Vaughn case. It seems like they have all these suspects. They got their sights on them, but they ain't doing nothing. I need them to do something. I need Michael Vaughn to be found. I pray for him all the time. And Summer Wells, the Orson, what was her name? Sincere and Classic. Orrin and Orson West, but that's not really their last name. They were adopted by those terrible, terrible parents. Terrible parents who say their children are missing. And they put on this big hoax and say all this crap when really they were the ones who did something to these children. And they still have not found those boys. And it's very upsetting. All these missing children. And it's upsetting that people like the McCanns got away with what they did all these years. And JonBenet Ramsey's family all these years. So I don't think Don and Candace are going to be so lucky. I think the only reason that the McCanns in the JonBenet Ramsey case is because they got money and they got lawyers, big lawyers, and big money that helps keep them out of things. But I'll tell you what, Don and Candace don't have that. And there's going to be trouble up ahead for them. But I'm not taking my finger off of Jody Sue or Andy because I'm very suspect of them. Because why would even Hunter say that? He doesn't even hardly know you guys. He thought that Andy and Candace had something to do with it. So you could clear a lot of things up, Jody Sue, just by answering some questions. By saying why you would say those things about Andy. And if it's really true, did you turn that into TBI? And why, Jody Sue, would you lie about these things? If you're telling the truth, why weren't your clothes wet? Why would Candace say that about you? And PG, what are you doing? You're involving yourself, making yourself a part with a criminal. And writing notes on a missing child case. How scary is that? And giving the suspect ideas on how to avoid problems or what to say to the cops. That's not good, PG, not good at all. And I'm not one of these people that I'm not gonna sit here and pull punches. I'm not mean to anybody, and I'm not trying to be mean to PG. And I'm not trying to be nasty about anything. But I do think she needs to answer for some of these things. And I do think that there might be some trouble for her for what she did to involve herself in this case. And, I don't know how much of what she says is the truth. And I don't know how much of what Miss Jody Sue, who wants to call herself the bunny or the whatever. I don't know. She's got some kind of picture of herself trying to look sexy in this picture, whatever, Jody Sue. And she's right. Nobody should be cutting somebody else down for smoking or having smoking. PG smokes like a chimney nonstop, one after another. So does Jody Sue. but other people vape. I've seen other creators vaping. So, whatever. That's my point. Why judge other people for what you're doing too? But I got some suspicions, and I think the police need to look a little closer at Andy and Jody Sue, and I think they need to look at you, PG. They need to talk to you about some things. You know, some of the things you do, like putting her Summer's picture, you know, her face in these cartoons, to me it's so strange. I'm sorry. This is a missing little girl. I don't understand what you're doing here with that. That's weird to me. I don't know, you guys. I just found it very strange when I was listening. You know, I just happened. I don't even know why. Maybe it caught my name in the title, PG and Jody Sue's title. And that was from Jody Sue's video that she just did recently, like last night or yesterday, whatever. So, or 2 days ago maybe. Yeah, I don't know. But you should go watch the whole video, because Jody Sue does have a point about some things with PG, and PG is saying some things that, you know, I think it's really crazy that you would go and do those things, PG. And Jody Sue, it ain't looking good for Andy and you. The way things are, all this stuff that keeps coming out, it's strange. Maybe you didn't have nothing to do with nothing. Maybe not. But I find it very strange that Andy was involved around this situation, and you even put him there. You pointed the finger at him, and you put it out there for all of us. So, is it the truth, Jody Sue? Is it? If it is, it's not good news for Monster there. So, I think it's very crazy and scary. So, anyways, you guys, it's all I wanted to talk about, because I was upset about that. Because I could not believe that PG actually wrote those notes and those letters, and then was proud of them. And even claimed, you know, she was proud of them, and that Don took the credit, but she's the one who wrote them. Well, I wouldn't be proud at all. No. So anyways, you guys, that is interfering in a missing child case to me. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't be hating on me or being mean, because I am confronting PG on this. But I think it's important, and I think it's that all of you should be aware of this. So, anyways, I hope you all have a good night and the rest of the week. And I'm sure I'll talk to you before Christmas, okay? All right, good night. Bye, and God bless. Love you.